Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Adam Cellini. Topping our news tonight, a power outage at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta has sent a ripple effect nationwide for passengers, including some here locally. In addition to all air traffic coming to a halt in Atlanta, the Federal Aviation Administration has enacted a ground stop for all flights headed there, meaning flights can no longer take off until that stop is lifted. International flights are being diverted to other airports. SRQ reporting multiple delays today. One flight originally scheduled to depart at 6 o'clock tonight from Atlanta canceled. ABC 7 spoke with delayed passengers, many saying at this point it's just easier to change their flight plans.
We had a connecting flight through Atlanta, and so we were sitting waiting for the flight, and all of a sudden we saw some of the coverage talking about the power outage in Atlanta, and we decided, I'll tell you what, rather than being part of the problem, we would just take ourselves out of it. And the airline was wonderful. They rebooked our flight, set everything up, and now we're heading out tomorrow morning at 7.
Georgia Power says it is working with the airport authorities to determine the cause of that outage. An update now on an Englewood death investigation that we first reported last night. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office has arrested and charged Englewood resident Jessica Winkler with murder and tampering with evidence. Detectives say Winkler called 911 yesterday afternoon after she allegedly murdered her wife at their home on Overbrook Road. Deputies arrived on scene and found the victim, Rhiannon Leyendecker, in the bed of her own truck wrapped up in a blanket. Detectives say Winkler murdered Leyendecker during an argument yesterday morning, then attempted to dispose of her body and any other evidence. Based on preliminary findings, the medical examiner's office determined Leyendecker's death was the result of a gunshot wound. Winkler remains in custody at the Sarasota County Jail without bond. That investigation is ongoing. Well, despite some spectacular weather this weekend, several folks in Bradenton had to cancel any outdoor plans they might have had, while a no skin contact advisory for the Palmasola Bay area remains in effect from the Florida Department of Health in Manatee County. ABC 7's Erica Jackson spoke with some of the people living in that area and is here to explain how it is impacting their lives. Erica?
Thank you, Adam. The Department of Health says the water has elevated levels of enteric bacteria, and those who come in contact with the contaminated water may develop a disease, infection, or develop a rash.
I was able to catch some decent fish.
It was a successful day on the water for Sunny Shores resident Richard Volker. But instead of fishing just feet away from his home in Palmasola Bay, he took his boat near Longboat Pass.
They should be fine. That water's coming in out of the Gulf, and that Gulf's clean.
Volker isn't taking any chances after learning the Department of Health issued a no skin contact advisory on Friday. Health officials say the precautionary warning comes after a spill from the Manatee County wastewater system. People are at risk of catching an infectious disease while fishing, kayaking, paddleboarding, or swimming in the water.
Always just going to listen to what is told, follow up, and go from there.
Bob Hoffman was also cautious while out fishing Sunday morning.
The decision was that, okay, things are starting to clear out. I'll take a run out and do some fishing outside the bay today. And with that said, not keep any fish for at least a couple weeks.
The advisory also closing local kayak and paddleboard rental stands for the day and affecting parks along the water. It will be in effect until the water falls within Environmental Protection Agency safety guidelines. Until then, the health department warns to stay in a boat or completely out of the water.
We've got a bunch of crap in the water. That's not safe.
Other recreational areas with water in the county are not under an advisory, but Manatee County Utilities says residents living on Alhambra Drive from Palmasola Boulevard to 75th Street are under a boil water advisory because of a water main break in the area. We'll let you know when both advisories are lifted, and you can also find those updates on our website, mysuncoast.com. Adam?
All right, Erica, thank you very much. Well, as you could see in the video there, certainly worth changing your outdoor plans just for an excuse to be outside. Let's head over to Wendy Ross for a check on our First Alert weather forecast. Wendy.
It was a spring-like day outside. There's no question about that, with our temperatures climbing up very close to 80 degrees, and some places did get into the 80s today. But right now, we're looking at temperatures in the 70s. It's a little cooler at the water. You can see 70 in Bradenton, 72 in Sarasota and Venice, reporting 73. But you move well inland, and we still have temperatures in the mid to upper 70s at this hour. And everyone is looking at partly cloudy skies right now. At the airport, it's 72 degrees. We also have high humidity and winds coming in very calm. So we don't really have much of movement in the air at this point. And what we are looking at all around our area is Venice is looking at some partly cloudy conditions. Bradenton and Sarasota are fair skies, and everyone here in the low 70s right now. We are looking at winds coming in out of the east and then out of the west, and they're very calm at this point, but there is the possibility we could see some fog developing a little bit later on tonight, and that will continue into the early morning hours. We'll let you know how the work week is shaping up to be. I'll give you a hint. You can put away your sweaters, at least for now. Adam?
All right, thank you, Wendy. Well, President Trump returned to the White House from Camp David late this afternoon and immediately tackled head-on the latest rumor in Washington that he plans to fire special counsel Robert Mueller. As ABC's David Wright reports, the president is saying that is not the case.
This weekend, a new line of attack on special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian meddling and possible collusion by Trump associates. This 7-page letter sent to key Senate and House committee leaders claims Mueller's team illegally obtained thousands of emails from 13 members of the presidential transition team. The letter says the General Services Administration, which provides office supplies and bureaucratic support to the federal government, should not have handed the material over to the special counsel.
I think Republicans should end their concerted effort to undermine the credibility of the Mueller investigation.
The special counsel's office insists it followed standard procedures. GSA officials reportedly say they followed standard procedures too. These new accusations come after a drumbeat of criticism about the Russia probe.
They're spending millions and millions of dollars. There is absolutely no collusion.
The president calls the investigation a witch hunt, questioning the integrity of the special counsel's investigators.
It appears that some of the president's allies in the Congress are starting to lay the groundwork for him to fire Robert Mueller. What would that mean if the president fired the special counsel?
I've read that the president's own lawyer says that's not going to happen. I think that would be a mistake myself.
The president's director of legislative affairs denies any push to oust Mueller.
There's no conversation about that whatsoever in the White House.
On Tuesday, the president's private lawyers and the special counsel's team are expected to meet face-to-face. Mueller expected to be in the room. David Wright, ABC News, Washington.
Well, back here at home, the next time you visit the pier at Access Point 2 on the Siesta Key Beach, you'll see a new addition. Earlier today at noon, the group Reopen Beach Road hosted a ceremony and dedication to veterans by erecting a 22-foot high flagpole. Brian Wigglesworth, the founder of the Siesta Key Crystal Classic, also volunteered to recreate this Iwo Jima sculpture out of sand to honor that dedication. ABC 7 spoke with the president of that Reopen Beach Road effort, who tells us what they hope to accomplish with this addition.
This giveaway is not only wrong, but it is against it directly prevents our elderly and mobility impaired from ever using that area again, and we're just trying to call attention to that.
There's a lot of disabled people that would like to get out, and not just the beach. There's a ton of public things that disabled people would like to do, but they have a hard time doing it because they just can't get to it.
The push to reopen Beach Road has been an ongoing debate. Currently, Beach Road is a privately owned road. A magical annual event is back and making the holidays just a little bit brighter for area children in need. Breakfast with Santa, hosted by the Blessing Bags Project, bringing out 83 kids for a day of fun. Those kids have breakfast at the Swordfish Grill in Cortez, visit with Santa, have their faces painted, and they also receive clothing, toys, and handmade warm blankets, things they probably would not receive otherwise.
The kids are so excited when they see Santa and they see the gifts, and probably better to see the parents' faces with tears, knowing that they're going to have some enjoyment on Christmas morning where they might not have been able to afford any gifts at all.
Santa makes his entrance to this event on a large fishing boat accompanied by his elves. This year, Snoopy also making a visit to that event. Well, still to come here on ABC 7 with thousands of dollars on the line, a look at the gambling dispute currently rocking our state. Plus, a firefighter killed battling those blazes out west laid to rest. And the latest on those massive fires and the change giving responders hope.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
It's time to take a road trip.
If you love the beach, Alabama's Gulf Coast has 32 miles of sugar white sand and turquoise water. Looking for a room with a view? We have them. Beachside and bayside. There's incredible history. Whoa! And the seafood is fresh from the Gulf. Another round of shrimp for my friends. Alabama has a road trip with your name on it.
Which one you gonna take?
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
The state could be on the hook for $450,000 in legal fees after a judge sided with cardroom operators this week in a dispute over controversial designated player games. Now, designated player games allow one player at a card table to serve as the bank, meaning the other players are playing against this single player. The games were at the heart of a dispute between the Seminole Tribe of Florida and the state of Florida over the tribe's ability to offer blackjack at most of its casinos. Siding with the tribe last year, a U.S. district judge ruled that the designated player games breached an agreement with the Seminoles that gave them the exclusive right to conduct banked games. Well, with Christmas just 8 days away, some Californians are still wondering if they'll have a home to celebrate in, much less a Christmas tree. The massive wildfire burning in Southern California has become one of the largest in modern history. And as ABC's Brian Clark reports, the fire continues to grow amidst a funeral for a firefighter killed in action.
A solemn funeral procession through Southern California. The hearse carrying the body of firefighter Corey Iverson, who died Thursday from smoke inhalation and burns sustained while fighting the massive Thomas fire in Ventura County. Iverson was 32 years old, survived by his wife Ashley, who's expecting a girl, and their 2-year-old daughter.
Well, I think what was most impressive to me was the show of support from all the citizens around Ventura County that were standing here with the American flag. They were here with their sons and their daughters to support Corey and his family.
The funeral procession moving through burn-scarred hillsides where wildfires still rage. Iverson, remarkably, only the second death attributed to this massive fire, which has burned more than 400 square miles and destroyed at least 750 homes. Even more homes going up in flames overnight.
Those damage assessment teams will be going around to see if we've had any homes damaged or destroyed.
18,000 homes are still threatened. Among those forced to evacuate, actor Rob Lowe posting this picture from Instagram of flames creeping alarmingly close to his home in Santa Barbara County. And Oprah Winfrey, who lives in Montecito, tweeting, "Still praying for our little town." More than 8,000 tired firefighters are battling the flames on all fronts, trying to contain the blaze before winds whip up embers that start new fires. Water tank aircraft helping in that effort. Brian Clark, ABC News, New York.
Well, here in Florida, Wendy, kind of hard to tell it's winter these past couple of days, and it's going to continue to be pretty warm.
Now. Yeah, it's awfully warm out there. And for some of you, I know that a lot of people love this. I mean, they just love it. And we're just going to continue to see very warm weather because we've got high pressure system on top of us. We're very stable right now. And as a result of a little bit more moisture and increasing moisture in the air, we probably are going to see some early morning fog developing during the overnight time period and into the morning hours tomorrow. And it is unseasonably warm out there. So that's going to continue also for the next several days. Today we got up to a high of 79 degrees, and last night we were down to 57 degrees, warmer than our 53 and certainly 73 degrees, which are normal temperatures for this time of the year. And tonight we're going to see our temperatures even warmer, a good 6 to 7 degrees warmer than what we experienced last night. So we're looking at readings right now that are mostly in the low 70s, and this is true just about everywhere you go across our viewing area. And you can see even down to the south, we're looking at the same thing, from 72 to 74 degrees. That's the spread. Some places are getting clouds. Some people are seeing some fair skies right now, but it's very, very stable out there. And we're looking at a 72-degree reading at the airport. Dew points have been moving up, and so it feels a little bit more moist outside, and we're looking at 65 degrees for that. Humidity at 78%. The winds are calm, so we don't have anything really moving anything about it. It's very still out there. And what's going to happen is that throughout the nighttime hours we keep those winds light, and the moisture that is increasing around, and also because of the cool waters out in the coastal areas, we are going to be seeing some fog moving on in. That takes place during the overnight time period, and we'll see it lingering through the morning hours as well. But the rain showers are staying away. We have high pressure that is still sitting on top of us, and over the next couple of days that high pressure system is entrenched, and so as a result we're going to see very stable conditions across the area and not much of a change from day to day to day. As a matter of fact, our temperatures are going to get back up to around that 80-degree mark beginning tomorrow, and will continue all the way through the weekend, and we're just going to keep the rain out of the forecast. We're not going to see it here at all, but we do have some showers across the Panhandle, moving across and into the central part of the Middle Atlantic coastal states, and then you can see that we have the snow and the icy conditions across the Great Lakes and the northern tier of the country. So if there are travel plans for this week, especially by car, you're certainly going to run into some difficulties with that travel, especially as you move farther and farther on to the north. Now, as far as getting back here, you can get your sunscreens out, you can get your bathing suits on, you can wear your flip-flops. It's going to be nice and warm. We're looking at winds coming in out of the southeast at 5-knot seas, 1 to 2 feet. It's going to be smooth out on the bay waters, and we're not going to be seeing much for sailors out there. The winds are just not going to be strong enough. But we will get some fog that comes in tonight. Partly cloudy skies. 63 is the expected overnight low tonight. Partly sunny and warm tomorrow. We're expecting a high of 80 degrees, and it is just going to get nicer all week long. You can see we're just going to continue with those warmer temperatures all week, and there is the possibility we could see some record high temperatures in time for next weekend, believe it or not. Adam?
Now, sports.
Well, the Green Bay Packers have found a way to stay in the playoff picture just long enough for their MVP quarterback to return from a broken collarbone. Aaron Rodgers playing his first game since October 15th up in Carolina today, facing another former MVP, Cam Newton, who gets some MVP caliber help from receiver Damiere Byrd right here in the third quarter. Check out this catch by Byrd, who bobbles it, but able to stay with it and then land just one butt cheek right there inside the end zone. Refs review it, and the touchdown stands. Newton had 4 touchdowns on the day, but Rodgers able to throw his third of the game with 2:44 to go. Another touchdown could tie it. Ensuing onside kick, and the Packers pounce on it. They're going to have another chance starting at midfield and more than 2 minutes to go. Rodgers could be a hero. This is where he thrives, but Geronimo Allison fumbling a first down catch. That seals it for Carolina and shrinks Green Bay's playoff window. The Dolphins taking on the Bills up in Buffalo today. LaShawn McCoy scored the game winner in a Snow Bowl up there last week, and that was his second touchdown of the game today against Miami. The Dolphins down 24-6 in the fourth quarter. Kenyon Drake bulldozing his way in for a touchdown, and he's having a breakout season since that Jay Ajayi trade. Dolphins would kick a field goal to cut the lead to 8, and then they recover an onside kick for a last-minute chance. They need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie. Instead, they get Jay Cutler's third interception of the game. Bills win 24-16, and that all but slams the door on the Dolphins' hopes of making it to the playoffs. The Lightning looking for their 7th straight win Saturday in Denver, taking on the Avalanche. We start with the good. Victor Hedman showing some handles there in the slot, puts Tampa Bay up 3-0 on a wide-open net goal. The Bolts will be up 5-1 to start the third period, 5-2 after that deflection from Gabriel Landeskog. And then minutes later, Landeskog picking up a hat trick with another deflection during a Colorado power play. You could take another look right there. That cuts the deficit to 2. 5-4 game with 8.5 to go. Mikhail Sergachev coming up with a huge putback goal for the Bolts. Avalanche had 19 shots on goal in the third period alone, but only 5 go in all night, and the Bolts escape Denver with that W. More to come here on ABC 7. Stay with us.
Listen to this important message. If you owe money to the IRS, you will want to hear this. The IRS is cracking down on those who owe back taxes. They send out devastating letters, garnish paychecks, and even put liens on your home or business. You may have heard of it. It's called enforced compliance. Penalties and interest compound daily on your back taxes, putting you under a mountain of debt. Tax 10,000 has years of experience connecting people with tax resolution specialists who will negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, they will handle all the necessary forms and can negotiate a tax settlement with the IRS. It's that simple. And if you qualify, you may end up saving thousands of dollars, finally ending your financial stress. Now is the time for a fresh start. Now is the time to call Tax 10,000. 800-699-3188. That's 800-699-3188. Call now.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone.
Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
On the next Black Almanac.
Democrat Doug Jones won the special election for the Alabama Senate seat,
defeating Republican Roy Moore after a bitter election. On average, women preferred Jones by 57%, but the breakdown differed greatly by race. Black women were particularly important for Jones, giving him 96% of their vote.
Sunday morning at 7:30 on ABC 7. Download the all-new ABC 7 First Alert weather app now.
Well, unless you've been living in a galaxy far, far away, you probably know which film dominated the weekend box office. That's right, it's Star Wars: The Last Jedi, decimating the competition with an estimated weekend sales reaching $220 million. That is the second highest opening weekend of all time. The most successful opening belongs to its predecessor, 2015's The Force Awakens, which beat it out by about $28 million. Well, 30 blankets for the homeless. That's what one 9-year-old Ohio boy decided he wanted for Christmas. His grandmother was ready to buy him an Xbox, but to her surprise, he passed and asked her instead to spend the $300 on blankets. When Microsoft caught wind of this story, the company surprised Micah Fry with that Xbox that he passed on. His grandmother says Micah's family once faced homelessness, so he knows what it's like.
He knew what it was like to not have a blanket at night and to have to give it back. When they gave him a blanket, he had to give it back. And so the first thing he wanted to do was give a blanket that they could keep.
And those employees at the Microsoft store also supplied Micah with plenty of games and accessories to go along with that Xbox. Nothing like the universe responding this holiday season, right?
Those stories just put tears in my eyes. I think that's so sweet. That is just so sweet, the heart of a little boy and being rewarded so beautifully and in so many great ways.
How about the maturity, too, of a little boy?
My goodness.
Such awareness at such a young age. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you again at 11.